Hi, I'm Samantha Louise, a local realtor here in Ventura County. Today, I'm here at CAVC and I'll be talking to Susie Lopez Garcia. She's going to be going over all of the program benefits and how they give back to the community. It's an experience from the setting to like the aroma. Like you just can't make it. Those baristas, they're experts. They know what they're doing.
My Keurig is not the same thing.
It's not. That emergency coffee only. Hi, I'm Samantha Louise, a local realtor here in Ventura County, here with Susie Garcia.
Hi everyone, my name's Susie Lopez Garcia. I'm the Executive Director at Community Action of Ventura County.
When did Community Action of Ventura County start?
So Community Action of Ventura County actually was established in 1965. So we've been around for a couple years. We're going to be hitting our 60 years pretty soon. We were a very small agency based out of Ventura initially. We were actually the Commission on Human Concerns. That was our name. And then we had a name change into Community Action of Ventura County.
Okay, sweet. Community Action of Human Concerns?
Yes.
And why was the foundation named that?
It was the name as everything got started. That's really how we were known. We had a lot of different programs. The change really came about. We are a national organization. So nationally, we are a community action partnership. And so a lot of organizations rebranded to become more unified. Our logo also rebranded, our Huggy Heart that you see in the back. So a lot of community actions adopted that logo. It really matches up with our national branding.
And what are the main programs that the foundation focuses on?
So right now, currently we have utility assistance, we have a weatherization program, we have food distribution to the community. We also provide services to unsheltered communities such as showers and laundry, hygiene items and referrals. And we also have community workshops around financial wellness and mental wellness.
Wow, you guys offer a lot of benefits back to the community.
We have a lot of services right now. And because of COVID, a lot of those programs did grow a lot during the last 3 years.
I think one that stuck out to me was the where people can come in and meet with you guys on mental health. I know like that's a big thing right now. There's a lot of conversations around mental health.
Definitely. During COVID, I think we kind of made that switch. We were focusing so much on financial wellness, and we saw the need for support around mental wellness. So we always say we're not experts in mental wellness, we're not therapists, but what we're really trying to do is bring awareness to mental health, the importance of taking care of ourselves, and also providing resources and referrals if additional help is needed, but at least starting that conversation around mental wellness and making sure it's not a stigma around our family members or in our community as well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely very important. I mean, it all starts here.
Yes, definitely.
What does the process look like to get qualified for assistance?
So depending on the program that someone applies for, it might look a little different. If you are in need of food, you're able to come through. It is a drive-through pickup, so you would need to stand in line with your car. The food is loaded up. But as far as requirements, we really just ask your name, number of people in your family, and usually your zip code or your address. But there's no documents or any proof or anything that you'd actually have to bring in. So that's for food. On the side of utilities and weatherization, it is more of an application. There are documents that are required, such as an ID, income. We really look at income because those programs are based on your income. So it's income qualified, how many people live in the home. So there's different documents that would need to be given along with your application, and then we review it, and then we'll let you know if you're eligible and for how much help you would be eligible for. So it really depends on the program, but majority of them are income based.
And what are the income caps?
So depending on your household size, one thing I do mention is for like weatherization and utility assistance, we do look at everyone that lives in the house because they are all using electricity or gas. So versus what we usually consider a household where it's maybe the parents and the kids, if there are multiple families in a home, then we do have to take everyone into account.
Right.
So it really depends on the program. Right now we have assistance with gas and electricity and water. So they might change slightly, and then depending on the year as well, those income guidelines might change a little bit. During COVID, we saw an increase of need, and thankfully we also saw those income guidelines kind of become a little more flexible. But it depends on the year that you're coming in to apply.
So I actually got my gas bill in the mail, and it looked a little different this time.
Yes.
And I saw a little blue box on the front of it, and it actually mentioned the program. And I was like, wow, this is great. I have a family member that was actually able to take advantage of the program, and it really made a big difference for them. And so, how long has that program been in place?
Utility assistance has actually been around, I want to say, since the 1980s. Water was something, so utilities, gas and electricity, has been around for a couple years. The water program we actually just received last year. So assistance with water was something that would always come up and be asked. It became very critical this last year because of COVID. A lot of people fell behind on paying it. There weren't any shutoffs to utilities during COVID, but then those picked up within the last couple of months. And we definitely saw it because we saw a lot more people coming in to apply for assistance with questions. Water companies, different cities also reached out once they found out that we were assisting with water.
Yeah.
And so they were really trying to help their residents make sure they didn't get shut off. And so we had different days, different ways of helping, not just having people come through here, but being available in the different cities, different locations to process those applications for people. So definitely it's been needed. We're seeing the bills too. So we see the amount that people owe.
Yeah.
And it's for different reasons. You know, people ask like, how do you accumulate that much? But if you think through COVID and what happened during those last couple of years, initially there was a stay-at-home order. So some people may have been laid off or just weren't working for a couple months. And then if they were affected by COVID directly, they were out and sick or caring for someone that was sick. Reduced hours, you think about restaurants, you think about tourism. So a lot of jobs were affected, and then there were those spikes in COVID during the winter. So it was just inconsistent, and then the rain came.
Yeah.
So a lot of jobs were affected by the rain, limited hours. So there's just been a couple things that could have gone wrong for people, and then those bills added up, and rent sometimes takes priority, food will take priority, and then you try to figure out your utilities.
Right. And then, well, recently we had that huge spike in energy costs.
Yes.
Specifically, I know the gas bill hurt me. I was like, ow, okay.
Yes, we heard so much. You know, the price of gas went up, and truthfully, if you looked at how people, because they usually had to pick, do you want help with your electricity bill or your gas bill? They would always pick their electricity bill. And as of lately, more and more people are requesting help with gas.
Yeah.
So we're definitely seeing how that changed. And because we have multiple funding sources right now, which we haven't had in the past, sometimes people are able to apply for both. But yes, seeing those bills, our seniors, usually we have a lot of seniors that apply for our program because they're on a fixed income. And so they don't need to be past due on their bills, they just have to qualify based on income.
Right.
So we can always put a credit into our account. And what we were seeing with seniors is their usage of gas in the past was so low that credit could take them through the rest of the year.
Wow.
Now it's not lasting very long if they do get that credit.
Because of the rising costs.
Definitely.
Wow, that's an amazing program that people can take advantage of if they need the help and if they qualify. Obviously, not everyone's going to qualify, but you know, there are instances where people just need help, and it could even be just temporary.
Yes, we saw a lot of new clients because, like I mentioned, our recurring clients were a lot of our seniors, but we saw a lot of new clients also trying to learn how to apply, and sometimes it is difficult asking for help if you've never needed to ask for help before. But again, the program is here for people to help them one time or multiple times, or you know, as needed, because everybody's going through a different situation in their life.
Right, and sometimes, you know, everything is great for a long time, and then you might just have a period where things get a little rough and you might need help, and that's okay.
Yes, definitely.
Once you qualify for assistance, how long do you qualify for?
So focusing on utilities, it is once a year. So once a calendar year, they can come in and apply. For weatherization, usually a home can be weatherized every 4 years. So we go based on the home, not the family. So even if, you know, one family was living there and they move within the year, and then a new family comes in and they try to apply, if that home was weatherized, we can't re-weatherize it for another 4 years. We can look to see what we can do. Food every Thursday. So we do have the drive-through every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or once food runs out. And so they can come every week to pick up a box of food as needed. The workshops, we usually have groups or cohorts that go through the workshops. So that's how they would move through there. And for our homeless services, Mondays and Fridays we're open for showers, laundry, mail pickup, referrals, pretty much everything, Monday and Friday mornings. And Tuesdays and Thursdays for half days we're open just more for referrals or to pick up mail. But Wednesdays is the one day we're not open. We do have limited staff that help out with that department. So we try to provide most of the services on Mondays and Fridays for them.
And this might be a silly question, but I mean, I have an idea of what it is, but would you mind explaining like what exactly is weatherization?
Oh, yes. So weatherizations is one of our probably the way we can help people do multiple things, right? We help lower their utility costs by weatherizing their home, and we also make sure the home is safe to be living in. So with weatherization, it is income-based. They, you know, fill out the application just like utilities. It's the same application, same eligibility. And then we have staff go into the home and have an assessment of the home to see what can be done. It can be anything from changing shower heads and light bulbs to more energy efficient ones, to larger appliances. We're doing washers, dryers, stoves, microwaves. If they're no longer working, or we test them, we test gas appliances, and we can replace them for more energy efficient ones. If someone's water heater is broken or stops working or anything like that, we can also replace that. Furnaces, and we really run tests around the home, like I mentioned, on gas appliances, carbon monoxide readings, to make sure the home is safe. And also in weatherizing the home, we're trying to bring down utility costs and energy costs for them.
Okay, so it's not solely just assistance with the financial side of things, but it's also safety.
Yes.
And making sure that it's a safe home.
Yes. So we definitely want to make sure, you know, everyone's living in a safe home. If they're eligible, we can do all these things to the home and saving them a lot of money free of cost. So we don't charge anything for all the things I mentioned, which sometimes to people sounds a little like, what do you mean you're not going to charge anything?
It sounds a little too good to be true, to be honest.
So some people will think, okay, maybe it's a scam, or at some point.
Yeah, it's going to cost me. Someone's going to pop out with the bill and say like, oh, you owe, you know.
Yes, I mean, appliances are expensive. So, you know, our staff make sure to let the client know from the beginning that things that were going to cost you. If for some reason anybody comes in here and does ask you for money, you need to call us because that shouldn't be happening. So yeah, the assessment of the home, a work order is put together, and then we have subcontractors that go in and actually do the work in the home. And then our staff goes in one more time at the end to inspect to make sure everything was done from that work order and everything was installed correctly. So it can take a little while to get through all those steps, but definitely at the end, I think it's a great benefit for the family and the home in general.
Okay, and if somebody wants to get more information, is it better for them to come in and ask questions and talk to someone, or would a phone call be better? What do you recommend?
A phone call would probably be easier. We have a lot of information online on our website. Social media, we share a lot of information as well, but if you're more comfortable talking to a live person, you can definitely give us a call. We do have a message number, and we'll make sure to return calls on any of our programs. Again, for weatherization specifically, I do want to clear up, it doesn't need to be a homeowner. It can be a renter or a homeowner who applies. But if they are renters, we will need the permission of the homeowner to come into the home to do all those modifications. But it can be either or. We take the income of the family living in the home. Everybody
under the roof.
Yes. Okay. But definitely they can give us a call and we can walk them through the process. With utility assistance, it's mostly that checklist of items of documents they'll have to submit. With weatherization, it's same list, but we will have staff coming out to the house so they can fill out the application at the home with them and gather all those documents together. But everything can be really done. The initial application can be mailed in, emailed, faxed. Again, if they feel more comfortable walking into our office, we can definitely do that. So just check what hours we're open to the public, because certain days we have a lot going on in our building. But also check our website or call us to ask what other locations in Ventura County we go to, because we do have a calendar of sites. We go to senior centers, we go to other partner agency offices that we can fill out applications in person with them.
So your staff will actually help you fill out the application, answer any questions. You don't, like, someone doesn't have to go in and try to figure out how to fill it out. You actually will handhold them through the process.
We definitely can do that. We usually do encourage, here's the application, fill out what you can.
Okay.
If you do need help though, someone will guide you through it and exactly what it's asking.
Right. Sometimes the process of anything can be a little intimidating for people, and they might, be struggling with, I don't want to, go through the process, but it seems like you guys make it really easy.
Yes, and then working with partner agencies, a lot of them are very helpful, and they're there every day in those cities, so they will meet with people and maybe help them start the application and start filling out things, and then we'll come in and just double check that everything it's completed and making copies of the documents. So it really helps when we have partner agencies that will work with us. But again, we have staff that can walk them like, okay, you filled out your name.
Yeah,
now
good
let's
job.
work on the other rest of the application. And then just asking those questions. And yeah, all our staff is bilingual in English and Spanish, so we can definitely help.
Nice. Okay. What's coming up for Community Action in Ventura County?
So we actually have an event on May 20th. We are celebrating the building here in Oxnard. We found out that the building was built in 1983. I'm celebrating my 40th birthday this year as well, so it was kind of a neat fact when I found out that this building was the same age as me. And I keep joking when people say this old building, to stop calling it this old building, but at 40, it needs a little love. It is our building. We provide basically all the services I mentioned out of this building. We have the front office where we do a lot of the intake and application processing. We have a resource center attached to the showers and the laundry where people come in to use. And then we have a warehouse in the back. And that warehouse stores our weatherization vehicles, supplies. It stores our food for our food distribution, and the food is distributed out of this building. So there's been a lot going on, a lot of trying to figure out the space. And so we're having a celebration on May 20th for that, and it's a celebration and a fundraiser to continue serving the community out of this building.
And how can people get involved with helping?
So there's various ways. We are still looking for sponsorships. So if anybody is interested in sponsoring the event, we have different levels starting from $250 up to $4,000 to help put the event together, and also sponsor and help out with the fundraising for services. We are selling tickets. Tickets are $20 to attend. We will be having some food and drinks, short program to kind of update the community on everything we're doing. And also there will be an ask at the end of the event for anyone that wants to donate. And it's just, we thought it was a good time to bring everybody together to kind of celebrate everything and also give an update in person, right? We've been working online via Zoom so much.
We're over it. Everybody is over it.
So we are excited to bring people here to celebrate. So we'll have some awards to give out. We are actually recognizing Adam Lopez, who's a commissioner with the city of Oxnard, who's been helping us. We met him probably about 2 years ago, and ever since then he's been connecting us with other partners, connecting us with resources, anything from donations of food to a spotlight on a radio station, and then just really connecting us to events in the community to get the word out about us. We're also going to be recognizing one of our partner agencies that's been working with us, and a former client who went through one of our programs, volunteered at some point here, and now is working with a partner agency. So she's going to share a little bit of her story. So there'll be a lot going on that day.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a good time.
We're hoping so.
So we're celebrating your 40th birthday, yay.
Yes.
And also, and the event, what is the name of the event?
40 years of action.
40 years of action.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool. So, Susie, can you tell me a little bit about you and your background?
Sure. So I was technically born in Port Hueneme, raised in Oxnard. Pretty much lived in Oxnard most of my life. There was 2 years when I was about 2 years old. My parents decided to move back to Oaxaca, Mexico, where they're from. So I lived out there between the ages of 2 and 4, came back right as I was starting kindergarten. Moved back into Oxnard, grew up here, I have a younger brother. And so, going through and living here in this community, I left for college at 18. I moved to the San Fernando Valley. I went to CSUN. I thought my whole life I wanted to be a teacher. Up until I was about to graduate, and I kind of started changing my mind. I sat in classrooms, did a lot of observation hours, and really started wondering, okay, is this something I want to do for the rest of my life? It's from what I see, it's a difficult job. You really have to love being a teacher and being there for students. So I had started volunteering at nonprofits. And so that's kind of where my mind shifted a little bit, because growing up, for me at least, I didn't think I'm going to go work at a nonprofit. I don't think I even understood what a nonprofit was. So once I graduated, I did end up working at some nonprofits. Right before coming here, I was at Girl Scouts of Greater LA. And then unfortunately there were budget cuts. So I was laid off, and then kind of had to figure out okay, what am I doing now? So I moved back home to Oxnard. I was able to kind of be home at a time where my grandparents had moved back in with us, so helping to take care of them. And so my mom always kept pushing, when are you going to grad school? You said you were going to go to grad school. And I was like, well, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do, right? So when that happened, I think that was the kick of okay, what am I doing? So I applied to grad schools, and I started looking for a job here. And so it just worked out that I got hired here February of 2014 at the beginning of the month because that's my birthday. So I was like so excited, like, okay, I have a job, like starting on my birthday. And at the end of that month, I got my acceptance letter into grad school. So it was perfect timing. When I interviewed, I told them, so my job here was 8 to 5. School at Cal Lutheran was going to be 7 to 9. So it was a full day, but it was just
very, very full day. It's a lot. Yeah.
Initially, my first year was fun. Towards the end, you're like, okay, I want to be done, right?
Yeah.
But that first year, it was just a lot of things were matching up. I decided to do a master's in public policy and administration. So I could see a lot of what I was learning here at work. And also community action was very flexible and, hey, I'm taking a budgeting class. Like I need to use an example. So they're like, okay, take the budget for your department and work on it.
So you were able to sort of make the connection between what you were learning in school and what you were actually doing in your career.
Yes. So I'm kind of thankful I took that time because initially I thought I was going to do my master's in education. And I was like, okay, that was going to be a whole different way of going. And so I really was able to take leadership classes, interview some of our board members, talk to some of the managers here. And so I started here as an outreach position. And so what that meant is I was traveling throughout the county, helping people enroll into CalFresh and Medi-Cal. And it helped me really listen to people's stories, what they were struggling with in different parts of the county, and also getting to know the rest of the county. And as I graduated, a management position opened up here. So I moved into that. And then a little bit over 3 years ago, the executive director position opened up and the agency decided to look internally. So I was encouraged to apply, not thinking, I don't think I ever thought like, I want to be an executive director. Right? That was not my thought. I wanted to work in nonprofits as far as I was getting. So I did apply, and I think as anybody else, I went through that whole process of delaying submitting my application because I kept thinking like, oh, it's maybe a couple more years of experience.
Yeah.
Like maybe I need another degree. Or
we never feel ready, right? It's always like, yeah, like I got to do this or I got to keep learning this. I'm not ready. I don't think anyone ever feels ready.
Right. And how are you ever going to do something for the first time ever? Like that's the only way to get experience. So I remember going to a conference days before I applied and they brought that up. They said, as Latinas, we often think we need that extra degree, those extra years. And I was like sitting there like, those are all the things I've been thinking about. Right. So I was like, okay, let me just submit, go through the process, and then we'll figure this out. And so I think going through the process helped. The board of directors voted me in. And then I had a lot of support. So, staff is amazing here. I have a lot of staff that are long-term staff, over 30 years, some over close to 20 years. So they've been very helpful and also realizing that I didn't need to know every little thing for every department or program. Like I don't need to know every little detail myself. I just need to be able to have reliable staff that knows and will fill me in. And yes, I will continue to learn and I will learn those things, but I didn't need to know them that first year, taking over. So interestingly enough, as I was applying, I was, had recently gotten married and we were talking about, hey, when are we having kids? And I was like, well, I'm applying for this position. Maybe we should wait on kids because, it's going to be a new position. So it kept going back and forth. And then, I had to kind of sit myself down and say, well, what do you want? Do you want to apply for the position or do you want to have kids? And eventually it was one of those, like, I want both. Like, I really want both. I don't want to have regrets over either.
Right.
So I was like, okay, whatever happens, happens. And I literally was announced as the new executive director. And 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. And I literally sat there like, okay, I know said whatever happens, happens, but not literally
hold
at the
on.
same time. So it was a lot of like excitement and also like, wow, like we're doing all of this with my husband, but he's been a great support to me. So I have a almost 3-year-old, and I'll have another little baby at the end of July.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So you figure it out.
Yeah.
You figure it out. And I always tell people, because they're like, how are you executive director in your first year? And I was like, you know what? I don't know any other way. Like, it happened together, so I don't know anything else at this point. So I don't know. So, yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed your story, and it's very inspirational to just know, like, as a woman, you have your goals and you charge forward, and then you just figure it out. You just make it happen. That's it.
Thank you.
Susie, what are the future plans for community action?
Well, we are actually wrapping up our community needs assessment right now, which will guide our next couple of years. We actually just wrapped up our strategic plan as well, which will go the next 5 years. So what we're looking at is how to better serve the whole county, because as I mentioned, we are based out of Oxnard, and we do conduct a lot of outreach with different partners, different sites. Last year, we opened an office out of the free clinic in Simi Valley. So we do have an office there where there are certain hours, but that is to help us reach East County a lot better. And being under the free clinic, there's also other partners within that office space. So it's a great location to be at, already serving some of the community we would be serving as well. And we're hoping that within the next month we will have a ribbon cutting. We just signed the lease in Santa Paula. So we're working with the Santa Paula Chamber and just getting situated in that office space. Similar to our location in the free clinic, we will be under a larger unit of offices. So we'll have our office there. Other organizations such as Poder Popular, Latino Town Hall, Lucha are all based out of that location. So we'll have our own office, and we'll also have access to the training room. So we're very excited to be able to offer that in Simi, Santa Paula, and then our Oxnard office. But
That's exciting.
the location definitely is helpful. Because I know being accessible is important. And then also looking at how we're going to continue growing and sustaining our programs, because we received a lot of funding during COVID, and a lot of that is changing, but the need is still there. So we're working on making sure we continue all the services we currently have. Our food program grew so much during COVID, so it is our largest serving program now. We serve over 5,000 clients a year, and those are households, where we used to serve maybe less than 1,000 before COVID. So
Wow.
we're looking at different ways to expand our current programs. And based on our community needs assessment that we just wrapped up, we're going to start analyzing that data to really find out what other needs are in the community, who else we might need to partner up with to bring those services, and really focus that way to make sure we're serving the community as well. So I just really want to invite the community. Our event on May 20th is open to the whole community. We will have, a variety of different public officials, staff, partners, community members, past clients. So it really is a celebration for the whole community. So I do invite you to come in on May 20th. It will be from 2 to 4 p.m. Tickets are $20. But we also need support during the day. So if you are interested in volunteering, let us know. We'll be setting up. The event is taking place here at our building in the warehouse, since we are celebrating our building. So everything will be taking place here. Please come in, let us know, give us a call, and see other ways you can help as well. Thank you.
Susie, thank you so much for meeting today. It was really nice sitting down and talking with you and just hearing about what you guys do.
No, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. Many times a lot of our clients know about us, but not the whole community. So I'm hoping if anybody out there is in need or looking for a volunteer experience, please contact us. We'd love to have you here.
Awesome. That's a wrap.
Thank you.